here on the left.
What about now?
It's a black rhino. They weigh 3,000 pounds. There are less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the world. They get poached for their horns. Some people believe there's a medicinal quality to their horns, but research has proven this to be completely false. It's actually made of keratin, the same thing that makes up your hair and fingernails.
Yep.
There's quite a few animals up ahead. There's actually a bongo that just crossed the road. We'll get nice and close to them. They're often known as the ghosts of the forest. You very rarely see them. Both the male and female bongos have horns, and they're pointed back so they can move through the underbrush without getting tangled up. The male's horns are slightly thicker around. They're also about 32 to 36 inches long. Alright, let's head over to the Safi River. See if we can find some hippos. Well, it might be a little bit tricky to find hippos. They spend most of their day underwater to keep themselves cool. They can hold their breath for 8 minutes at a time. Keep a lookout for eyes and ears above the water. It's going to be the easiest way to find them. Oh, I'm seeing some ripples in the water up ahead. Wait, are you? They are one of the most dangerous animals, but they are herbivores. They don't eat meat. They're just extremely territorial. Go ahead and take a look around the corner, maybe on the other side. There's a hippo up here. Oh, we reached that hippo. You can see those grayish-white birds. Those are pink-backed pelicans. During their mating season, they get a pink coloration to the skin on their back. Their wingspan is 7 to 9 feet. I'll give you a little bit of perspective there. That's about the same size as the canopy above your heads. Looks like that hippo is out of the water up there. When they're large groups, they're called a float. So it's a float of hippos. They walk or run at the bottom of the water. You can swim, they're just more often seen walking or running. Found some Nile crocodiles over here as well. And they can grow 16 to 20 feet long. They can also weigh 500 pounds. Sometimes you can see them with their mouths open. This is actually to help cool them down. It's how they release the hot air from their body. Alright, let's head over to the savannah. We're going to see a bit of a difference in the vegetation. It's going to be a lot more open, a lot less trees. Animals over here rely on their speed and agility to evade their predators, so it might be a little bit easier to find them. Speaking of vegetation, coming up on our right, we're going to see a baobab tree. It's also known as an upside-down tree. It's that name because the branches kind of look like roots coming out of the ground. To conserve water, it will spend 9 months out of the year leafless. It stores all of the excess water inside of its trunk. Now, during a dry season, some of the animals like elephants and rhinos can pierce the trunk to get the water out. So it goes by another name, the tree of life. Looks like there's a giraffe hanging out down here. Let's see if we can get a closer look. A large group of giraffes is called a tower, so it is a tower of giraffes. It looks like these are Maasai giraffes. You can tell by looking at their spots. They've got kind of that jagged edge to their pattern.
Everything's on their side.
Fully grown, they stand 16 to 20 feet tall. When they're first born, they are 6 feet tall, making them the tallest animal. They only have 7 neck bones, just a lot larger than normal neck bones.
That's a giraffe.
Their tongue is 18 inches long. Just like the okapi we saw before, it is a prehensile tongue. So those wildebeest right next to us. Wildebeest lay down facing out, that way they have a look in every direction, make sure there are no predators after them. They make a couple of migrations a year, sometimes forming groups of about 1.5 million to migrate. They can start walking 15 minutes after they're born. Even start running 30 minutes after they're born. A couple of African wild dogs on our left. They're also known as painted dogs because of the splotchy pattern on their coat. Each dog has a unique pattern to those spots, so they tell each other apart. And they have a really great track record when it comes to hunting. They can pursue their prey until it drops from exhaustion. They don't really bark, they kind of make a squeaking sound. It's pretty interesting. Keep looking back there on the left, there is Hartman's mountain zebras. One of the biggest questions with zebras is, are they black with white stripes or white with black stripes? This species is black with white stripes. You can always tell by looking at their nose. Each zebra's stripes are unique to that zebra. It's kind of like a fingerprint. And when they're in large groups, they're called a dazzle. Well, it's a dazzle of zebras. Found the rest of the herd of wildebeest up here as well.
It's really close.
And we're also passing these reddish-brown mounds. These are termite mounds, mostly made up of dirt, saliva, and dung. They'll bake in the sun. They can be as hard as concrete. Some of the bigger animals who rub against them will wear them down enough so that the smaller animals can use them as a perch. Use that tall grasses to get great predators out of them. Springbok up ahead. Springbok can jump 6 feet in the air. They can also leap 13 feet. Sheila Quokes are only 3 feet tall. They're one of the fastest antelope. They can run 60 miles an hour. They do this thing called pronking when they're scared or excited. They run really fast across the savannah and start hopping. It's pretty awesome. Great look at these giraffes up ahead. Our giraffes can run 30 miles an hour over a short distance. Over a longer distance, they can run 10 miles an hour. They only sleep for 30 minutes a day. They usually sleep standing up or kneeling down. They rarely go all the way down to the ground. Makes them too vulnerable to predators. Looks like they want to say hi to us.
You're not? Scott says focus.
What?
Scott says focus.
Alright, we're gonna try to get past him here.
What?
Alright, let's head on over to Monkey Point and see what else you can find. Looks like there's an elephant up there on the right. Just behind those trees back there. Get a better look to get around the corner. There are some mandrills up here on our left. They're normally shy animals, so we don't really get to see them that often. They're really long canine teeth, and when they bear them on another mandrill, it's a friendly gesture. They're the largest species of monkey. A fully grown male weighs about 100 pounds. Let's see if we can find those elephants again. Elephants have a prehensile nose, so they grab onto their food with their nose. They're led by the oldest and usually largest female of the herd, called the matriarch. She knows where all the watering holes are, all the places to get food, all the places to avoid predators. And she'll pass all that knowledge on to the next matriarch.
Can you see them?
Blood vessels on the back of their ears. When they start flapping them, get the air circulating. It'll cool them down a little bit faster. They have really sensitive skins. During the day, they throw dirt and mud on top of their backs. So I'll keep them from getting sunburned. Well, there's a pretty cool story about elephants. They're getting into farmers' crops and they're trampling their crops. So researchers found out that elephants avoid bees. Now farmers just set up beehives around their farms. It's a safe way to keep the elephants away from their crops. Also keep them a safe distance from human population. There's an Ankole cow up ahead. It's going to be right next to us. The horns look like they could be really heavy. They're not completely solid though. They have a honeycomb-like structure inside. They also have blood vessels flowing through, so it keeps them a little bit cooler during the day. Each one of their horns are 3 to 4 feet long. They're also called Watusi cattle. The tribe that first domesticated them, it was the Watusi tribe. We found some greater flamingos up ahead as well. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. Well, it's a flamboyance of flamingos. Greater flamingos are the largest species of flamingo. They're also the least pink. They get that pink coloration from beta-carotene found in brine shrimp and other foods in their diet.
For that experience.
We haven't seen any animals quite yet, but you can kind of see signs of rhinos in the area. In the middle of the clearing to the left, you'll see that mud pit. Rhinos roll around in mud to keep themselves a little bit cooler during the day. It also acts as a natural bug repellent and sunscreen. There's a couple of rhinos over here on our right. Little baby rhino. These are white rhinos. They weigh 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. Both the black and white rhinos are gray. The easiest way to tell them apart is by looking at their mouth. White rhinos have a wider mouth, and black rhinos have more of a pointed mouth. There's a cheetah up there on the left.
Oh,
Just raised its head.
cheetah! Where is it? Right there, right next to the tree.
Cheetahs are the fastest land animal. They can run 60 to 70 miles an hour.
Oh,
They use their tail as sort of a rudder to change direction while they're running. They're more of a sprinter than a long distance, else they can run really fast. They can only keep that speed for a couple hundred yards. Looks like there are a couple more back there. They're a little bit hard to see. They're just rolling over.
yeah, there's no way she's gonna
Have you ever seen a picture of a cheetah close up? You'll see 2 black stripes on the sides of their nose. This helps keep the sunlight out of their eyes. And that comes in really handy because unlike a lot of large cats, cheetahs will hunt during the day instead of
Look
night.
straight ahead. You see it all the way in the back. All the way in the back. You see it all the way in the back.
There's a lion up here. A couple of lions. Lions rest for 16 to 20 hours a day. They save all of their energy for when they go hunting.
There's the lion.
They're one of the only big cats that form prides and hunt cooperatively. The females will do the majority of the hunting. Males will kind of hang back and watch over their pride.
Lioness.
The roar can be heard 5 miles away. Usually roar to keep track of each other. During the day, a lion's eyesight is about the same as a human's. Once it gets dark, it is 6 times bigger. There's a bontabak on our right. They once poached nearly to extinction due to the purplish color to their coats. Luckily, a few farmers noticed their dwindling numbers and they built a fence around their remaining few. They saved the species from extinction. Some ostriches back there on the right. You get a better look to get around the corner. But those white animals, those are scimitar-horned oryx. You normally find the oryx in the desert. Their hooves are wide on the bottom so they can walk on top of the sand. They can go 9 months without drinking water. Their body temperature can reach 115 degrees Fahrenheit before they break a sweat. It's kind of to retain some of that water. They also get a lot of water they need from plants that they eat. Looks like there are a couple of warthogs coming up on our left. Sometimes warthogs use the burrows of other animals instead of making their own. When they do make their own, they use their tusks and their snouts to dig it out. They have 2 sets of tusks. The top are for digging, the bottom are for defense. Now they look at some rhinos up here. Actually get their name from an or misinterpretation of the Afrikaans word vite, meaning wide, referring to their wide mouth. Are those ostriches again? They are the largest bird, but they can't fly. They just use their wings to help guide them while they're running. They can run 35 to 40 miles an hour. Some ostrich eggs in the grass as well. They weigh 3 pounds each. They're incredibly sturdy. You could stand on one that wouldn't even crack. The warden's post up ahead. See if any animals are hanging out with them today. Actually, looks like there might be some Nigerian dwarf goats up here. There they are. They're what's called ruminants, which means there are 4 compartments in their stomach to help them break down some of the tougher vegetation. It makes them perfect grazing animals. They are fully grown. That's as big as they're going to get. Just under 3 feet. Well, it does look like we're coming to the end of our journey here on the reserve. We did get to see a lot of cool animals out there. One of the biggest problems facing these animals is habitat loss. It's a really easy way for you to help out. You can actually donate to the Disney Conservation Fund. Just go to any of the merchandise locations in the Animal Kingdom. Could be as easy as rounding up to the next dollar. 100% of the proceeds goes towards protecting animals like we've just seen out there in the wild. Another really easy way for you to help out is to recycle as much as you can. Bring your own bags to the grocery store, get a reusable water bottle, especially recycling old electronics like cell phones and laptops. There's a mineral called coltan that makes up the batteries. And coltan is mined in a lot of environments of animals we just found. So if we can recycle those old electronics, we can reduce the need for coltan, hopefully help protect those animals. Well, like I said, we did see a lot of cool animals out there. If you'd like to see any more, you can head over to Gorilla Falls. A couple of animals aren't necessarily out on the reserve.
Envidia.